What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Wrestling World Podcast. I am your host, AJ. Before we get into tonight's video, hit that like and sub button and hit that notification bell for your latest wrestling news, rumors, content, and spoilers. WrestleMania is coming up, guys, so that means one thing. My predictions. What are my predictions for WrestleMania 41? In tonight's video, we're going to dive right into that and talk about the most exciting matches, my favorite match, and what I think is going to happen. Now, as I'm looking at this card and I have everything written down right next to me, normally, my channel is unscripted, but due to so many matches I can't keep track of, and sometimes I forget, I have them all written down here. So, looking at this match card, it's pretty stacked. Night 1 and night 2. So far, I'm looking at 10 matches, so I don't know if they'll split these into 5 between night 1 and night 2. I know there is still going to be some matches announced, as I know there haven't been a few matches announced yet. We saw a couple announced for WrestleMania this past Monday, that being Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. Now, El Grande Americano and Rey Mysterio. This, to me, is something that's probably going to be on the kickoff show, as this really isn't a main card match. So, looking at El Grande Americano and Rey Mysterio, not really much of a feud there. We still don't really know who El Grande Americano is. Some people even thought it was Rey Fenix, but we saw Rey Fenix debut on SmackDown, so it is not him. A lot of people think it's Chad Gable. I do think it's somebody from American Made, but not Chad Gable. Maybe a new member of American Made, maybe a member of American Made now, but we know one thing: it is not Chad Gable. But this will be a luchador style type match. Who do you give it to? I give it to Rey Mysterio if there's no outside interference from American Made or Chad Gable himself. Give it to Rey, man. We don't know how much longer Rey has left in his career. This is WrestleMania. Rey Mysterio, in my opinion, is one of the greatest of all time when it comes to luchador wrestling. The king of luchador, in my opinion. You gotta give it to Rey Mysterio. But it will be a cool match, I think, to kick off the kickoff show as well. But we'll see. Another match that we may see on the kickoff show could be Jade Cargill versus Naomi, as it was revealed a few months ago that Naomi was the one who attacked Jade Cargill. And so that leaves us with the WrestleMania match between Jade Cargill and Naomi herself. Give it to Cargill, of course. You got to. Makes the most sense. And to be honest, I think this is Jade Cargill's first WrestleMania match as a singles competitor. So, and I could be wrong about that, so correct me if I'm wrong. But you got to give it to Cargill. To me, this feud really wasn't exciting. I do like Naomi as a heel, though. But hopefully they could do something with her after WrestleMania. But giving it to Cargill here. Giving it to Cargill for this match here. And we're going to move on. Right now we got AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I am excited for this one, as this is a match, again, that was just announced. These guys have been at it for a few weeks. I do enjoy Logan Paul in the ring. AJ Styles, the phenomenal one, always brings it whenever he can. He's always exciting to watch, even at his age. So I'm giving this one to probably Logan Paul. You think about it, I think Logan Paul lost. Well, no, Logan Paul actually, I think, didn't he win his last year's WrestleMania match? But that really doesn't matter. But anyways, gotta give it to Logan Paul here. I could definitely see AJ putting him over. Logan Paul's an up-and-coming talent, so you gotta give it to Logan here. AJ Styles has had plenty WrestleMania matches, so you gotta put the younger talent over. That's how things move forward in the wrestling business. And I could see AJ Styles paying it forward. So, giving it to Logan Paul here. If AJ wins, no problem. I'm perfectly fine with whoever wins this match, but I'm giving it to Logan Paul here. Next up, this feud has definitely heated up within the last few weeks. We got Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Now, if you haven't watched SmackDown just a week ago, then you'll see, or if you have watched SmackDown, then you'll see that things between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair have been heating up very personally. And when I mean personal, I mean off the script personal type of heat. Tiffany Stratton made remarks of Charlotte Flair being 0-3 as in her divorces, in which Charlotte Flair replied, "As that like Ludwig Kaiser's in my DMs." As I like to say, she pulled a Conor McGregor. But this feud has heated up very quickly. From what was a boring feud, I think will now be the one that people pay most attention to when it comes to the women's division at WrestleMania, because this is very personal. These two have made it very personal, and hopefully they can get along at WrestleMania to give us a good show as fans. But I think people will have their eyes on that match to see how these two work in the ring together, and to see if they can squash that personal beef that they had. Now, apparently, Charlotte Flair made some remarks a few weeks ago that made Tiffany Stratton very upset, which then she replied with what she replied to last week with the remarks she made in the promo. Now, WWE has went online to take this off of YouTube and everything else, but it is still up on many other accounts if you haven't watched it yet, so go check it out. But I definitely got my eyes on this match. As much as I don't want to say it, guys, I got to give it to Charlotte Flair here. Now, she's just coming back. WWE struggling to get her over as a babyface, and it's not working. But, I don't see Tiffany walking out of WrestleMania with the title over Charlotte Flair, over a returning Charlotte Flair, who, has just returned. She's from what, surgery. She's looking to break records. She's, a baby face right now. She's not a hot baby face, but she's a baby face. So, as big as WWE is with Charlotte Flair, you can't have her lose at such a big stage like WrestleMania. And Tiffany Stratton's young. She can gain it back. So you got to give it to Charlotte here. As much as I hate that, I would love to see Tiffany win. I'd love to see Charlotte put her over, but being a Charlotte Flair, I don't really ever see Charlotte Flair putting anybody over, especially when it comes to the title. So, you gotta give it to Charlotte here. Ric Flair's daughter. Ric Flair closer to Triple H, a mentor toward Triple H. As much as I hate it, guys, gotta give it to Charlotte here. And I hate that. As much as I like Tiffany right now, I became a Tiffany fan since last week. I do think she destroyed Charlotte Flair in the promo battle. I do think she was outclassing Charlotte in the promo battle, but you gotta give it to Charlotte here, and it sucks, but it is the truth. Another match that sucks for me is Jey Uso versus Gunther. Things have heated up with them as well, too, as Gunther has attacked Jimmy Uso and has really turned this feud into something a little less boring than what it was, because it was very boring, let's be honest. Now, I am not a Jey Uso fan. I will be honest. I don't see anything special about Jey Uso other than his entrance. Nothing stands out to me as far as him as a wrestler. Super kicks and splashes, that's all I see from Jey Uso. Having him compete for a title, I think he needs to improve his in-ring work. The only thing he has going for him is a catchphrase and an entrance. And that's why he's in the main event. It's not because of his skill. It's because he's a big draw right now with the fans. And sucks to say it, but it is true. But you got to give it to Jey. Let's be honest, guys. Gunther's reign as champion right now has not been great. Compare this to his Intercontinental title run that he had that was phenomenal. where he was a dominant IC champion, and now they put the main title on him, and it's been really lackluster. And I'm not a fan of Jey Uso becoming champion, and I don't think it's going to be a long reign. But whatever. But yeah, I'm giving it to Jey Uso as much as I don't want to do that. As much as I would hate to see Jey Uso walk out of there with the title, it's definitely going to happen. Doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. I'm not the one booking this crap. And as much as I love WWE right now, this match right here is crap. Gunther versus Jey Uso. It's total BS. There's far more people deserving than Jey Uso. Not saying, that he hasn't worked for it. He has. But when there's so many other names I could think of for WWE to put over right now, there's so many more names that come to mind. And Jey Uso is not one of them. Jimmy is not one of them. They're tag team stars at best. But giving it to Jey here, whatever. Moving on, guys. We got Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. This match could be a toss-up. Now, see, Rhea lost the title to Io Sky. I could see Rhea getting it back, though. Bianca Belair, she's, doing her thing. She's doing well. But I could definitely see Rhea getting this back. Now, I would much prefer it to have Rhea versus Bianca. Why they took the title off of Rhea, I have no idea. As it would make more sense to have Rhea versus Bianca, but, whatever. I would love to see Bianca versus Jade Cargill. I don't know. But they could have done that this year, too. But they chose Naomi instead to go up against Jade Cargill. But whatever. But I am going to give it to Rhea just because she lost title to Io Sky. And Rhea is just so hot as a babyface right now. I mean, even if they don't give the title to her and they give it to Bianca, that's fine. But Rhea is just, she's doing phenomenal. She is at the top of the division, even though she's not the champion. She's up here. She definitely is. And you got to give her credit, man. She is... She's done a great job of just keeping that role and maintaining herself and staying up there. And she's doing phenomenal. But I am going to give it to Rhea. Maybe I'm a little bit biased there because I am a Rhea fan, but I'm also a Bianca fan too. But, who knows. But I am going to give it to Rhea. If not Rhea, then I give it to Bianca. But I don't see Io Sky walking out of there with the title. I don't see them keeping the title on her very long. Especially having her retain at Mania wouldn't make any sense, given that you have both big stars in Rhea versus Bianca, but anything can happen with Triple H's booking. You just never know anymore. Moving on, guys, we got LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. As much as I don't want to see LA Knight lose the U.S. Championship, it is bound to happen, guys. Let's face it. Jacob Fatu is walking out with the U.S. Championship. It is definitely going to happen. I'm giving it to Jacob Fatu because this guy is a monster. And LA Knight has had a good run. He's held that title a good bit of times now. I believe he's in a second reign. But Jacob Fatu, this guy, he's going to be a big star. He's going to be a future world champion. And I think a U.S. championship win will put him right at where he needs to be. And then he'll make that step up to have that world title. But this guy is just a different breed. He's quick, he's strong, he's agile. I mean, unless Solo Sikoa gets involved, then I don't know. But I thought the plan would be Solo versus Jacob Fatu. But they are doing LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu, which, Solo could get involved. It's very possible. Costing Jacob Fatu, setting up Solo versus Jacob Fatu at a later date. But I'm giving it to Jacob Fatu unless there's any outside interference. So, yes, Jacob Fatu for this match. Unless Solo comes out and screws him. I don't see Jacob losing this match. So, Jacob Fatu, new U.S. champion. Got to give it to him. All right. Next up, we got Braun Breaker, the Intercontinental Champion, versus Penta, versus Dominik Mysterio versus Finn Balor. What a match, guys. I mean, you got Breaker, a dominant champion, Penta, a phenomenal luchador, Dominik Mysterio, and you got Finn Balor. But Dominik Mysterio and Finn Balor are two Judgment Day members. They are stable mates. So it'll be interesting to see how these two face off against each other, because these two have not been seeing eye to eye in recent months. Who do I give this one to? It's hard, man. Yes, Breaker is a great Intercontinental Champion, but this is Penta's first WrestleMania. So, you know what? I am going to say Penta here, because being that his is his first WrestleMania, and he is a big draw right now with WWE. I mean, they're pushing Penta to the moon, guys. Got to give it to Penta. Penta will probably pin Breaker, if not, maybe Dom or Finn Balor. I'd say Dom and Finn Balor, are gonna kind of beat the hell out of each other, leaving Breaker and Penta in the ring together. Maybe Penta picks up the win somehow, but Dom and Finn are pretty much just there. I'm surprised that WWE didn't do Dom versus Finn Balor in a singles match at this point. But that's bound to happen. That will set something up between Dom and Finn. Like I said, toss-up between Penta and Breaker, but I'm going to give it to Penta, being it's just Penta's first WrestleMania. But that could go either way. WWE's still very high on Breaker. It looks like he's going to have a babyface push pretty soon. He may be a babyface now. I don't know. I haven't been watching a lot of Raw and SmackDown, watching clips and pieces of it, but I've been pretty sick the last few weeks, so just now getting over it. But yeah, giving it to Penta. First WrestleMania, you have to. Next up, we got one of my favorite matches on the card. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus, or should I say, wait a minute. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman. There's a reason I said that. Because Paul Heyman is going to play a big role in this match. Because if you haven't paid attention to the storyline, you know that CM Punk and Seth Rollins don't like each other. We now know the favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk. CM Punk wants Paul Heyman to come to the ring with him. But now, Friday night on SmackDown, well, Monday night, not Friday night, sorry guys, Monday night on Raw, Seth Rollins was going to curb stomp Paul Heyman after taking out CM Punk. And Seth Rollins told Paul Heyman, he said, now you owe me a favor. So could this mean that we see Paul Heyman turn on CM Punk and Roman Reigns and align himself with Seth Rollins? Very possible. Maybe WWE's throwing a curveball at us. Maybe Paul Heyman aligns himself with CM Punk. I don't know. But one thing is for certain, I doubt that he's going to align himself with Roman Reigns coming out of WrestleMania. Now, normally, if Paul Heyman was not involved in this match, if he didn't play a role in this storyline, I'd say give it to CM Punk. It's his first WrestleMania main event. It's his first time main eventing WrestleMania, right? Makes sense to give it to Punk. But Paul Heyman is going to play a role in this match. And I believe that he aligns himself with Seth Rollins. It just makes sense. Everything that Seth Rollins was telling Paul Heyman, and this little favor that Paul owes Seth now, could very well be that. To screw over Roman Reigns and CM Punk. Makes sense. So for this match, I'm picking Seth Rollins to walk out of WrestleMania as the winner. Unless WWE throws a curveball or something, With Triple H booking everything, guys, we just never know what's going to happen anymore. Next up, we got the main event. One that is going to be emotional for a lot of people. And one that we are going to be on the edge of our seats for, because We don't know what's going to happen. John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. What is going to happen here? Could there be twists and turns? I don't know. Could The Rock be involved? My guess is probably yeah. Yeah. um, but do I see John Cena walking out of there with the championship? Probably not. This is John Cena's last match, guys. That's why I said it's going to be emotional. It's going to be hard to watch. But I do believe that Cody Rhodes walks out of there with the WWE Championship. And as much as I'd like Cena to win, I'd like him to beat Ric Flair's record, become a 17-time world champion. First time as a heel becoming champion. But one thing is for certain. We know that WrestleMania is John Cena's last match. We know that this is it. So John Cena, even if he won, he would never defend the title. A lot of people think that, and I've seen this on TikTok, a lot of people, are pointing all these matches for John Cena, thinking he'll win. But John Cena has made it clear he is done after WrestleMania. So unless John Cena wins and just relinquishes his title to The Rock or whatever, then I see Cody Rhodes winning this match. Now, there could be a possibility to this match. Maybe Cena wins, gives the belt to The Rock, setting up Rock versus Rhodes at WrestleMania next year. I don't see that happening. Be a cool possibility, though, right? But not going to happen. The Rock versus Rhodes definitely going to happen probably next year at some point, I'd say. I'm going to call it now. Maybe Roman versus Rock. I don't know. But I'm giving it to Cody. Like I said, Cena's never going to defend the title. We know it's his last match, so it's pretty much inevitable at this point. Unless, like I said, he just gives the belt to if Cena wins, he gives the belt to The Rock, and that's it. But I don't see Cody walking out with. I don't see Cena walking out with the title. No way. Does he need a 17-time championship reign? Does he need to be a 17-time world champion? No. It just don't need to happen. We got what we wanted out of Cena. He became a heel. He's put out some great promos. He's done so much for the business. 17-time championship reign is not needed. He does not need another 17th reign. So you gotta give it to Cody here. And a lot of people can argue too that Cody Rhodes has had a boring championship reign himself, and I will say that it hasn't been great. Well, like I said, a lot of the same things could be said for Gunther because his hasn't been great either. In my belief, I believe that Cody is better chasing the title than receiving it. Before Cody's story was told, it was exciting because you never knew what was going to happen. WrestleMania 39, we saw Cody Rhodes lose the Roman Reigns and then go on to, continue his story for a whole other year, and then beating Roman Reigns last year at WrestleMania. Fast forward, it's been pretty boring to see Cody as champion. Not saying Cody is boring himself, because Cody is very entertaining to watch. He's a great wrestler. He can cut a promo, and he's exciting to watch. Very exciting. But he just doesn't make a good champion right now. And, and I think the whole year, too, I think we could have seen, more championship defenses, too, But instead, he was feuding with the Bloodline. He was doing all this and doing that, and it kind of just, whatever, But, I gotta say, give it to Cody because, they still could do something with, keeping the belt on to Cody. But Cena don't need it. Cena's time is gone. It's over. And that's that. But yeah, I am gonna pick Cody as much as I want to see Cena win. And then him ride off the sunset and retire. I think that'd be a good WrestleMania ending for me and a lot of other people, but I don't think that's going to happen. Giving it to Cody Rhodes here, but what do you guys think? I don't know about any other matches being booked. I heard Liv Morgan and Raquel are going to have a match, but I don't know. Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens is canceled. I know that was the plan. Kevin Owens is going to have neck surgery, so Randy Orton does no longer has a WrestleMania opponent. Rumors of Aleister Black potentially facing Randy Orton, but we'll see. It could be Nick Aldis. I don't know. But prayers for Kevin Owens' recovery. Hope he recovers soon. But what are your thoughts, guys? What do you think of this WrestleMania card? I know we still got a week away until WrestleMania. I know my predictions are kind of early as other matches haven't been announced yet. But we did get the main card pretty much covered, so that's cool. So this will be my last video for at least a few weeks until after WrestleMania. I'll give my WrestleMania review, but I'll post this video now, and then I'm just going to post a bunch of shorts after. Like, you won't see a video from me until after WrestleMania. But I will be posting some shorts and everything like that. So stay tuned for that. Check out my shorts, guys. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Anything helps. Like, your likes and your comments, that means a lot to us YouTubers. So when you're doing stuff like that, that helps us out. That helps push the content out, and it lets us know that you care, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you guys for listening and watching. We have now hit 2,000 subscribers, guys. So that is awesome. And thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for staying subscribed and staying tuned in. If you would have told me 2 years ago that I would have hit 2,000 subscribers, I would have said you're crazy. But you guys make this all possible, and I love each and every one of you. To hit 1,000 subscribers, that's a huge milestone. And it's very hard for most YouTubers, but I've done it twice now. I've hit 1,000, now I've hit 2,000, so I've hit 1,000 twice, and I'm very grateful for you guys. And it helps me continue to put out content. It helps me, it lets me know you guys care enough to watch my videos, and you're intrigued, and you guys listen, and you give your opinions as well. And that's what this channel's about. So I will continue to put out content as long as you guys are here to listen and comment, and as long as you guys are here to talk to me, I'm here. I'll stay here. So thank you guys so much for 2,000 subscribers, and let's get to 3K. Let's get to 3,000 next, guys. We'll get there soon. But what are your thoughts on my WrestleMania predictions? Let me know in the comments below. Like I said, hit that like and sub button. Go check out some of my shorts. I will be posting more shorts later on. As I said before, this will be my last video until after WrestleMania, and then I will give my review on that as well. But go check out my shorts. I will see you guys soon. Let me know your thoughts. Like I said, have a good night, guys. God bless.